Hi everyone, I'm James Beezley. I'm a local Salesforce application architect. I live a couple of miles from this venue, so I'm pleased to be back here with the team. I've been working in Salesforce for about 12 years or so. Started off as a typical accidental admin. I was working in IT, and then we had this system called Salesforce, and I thought this looked like a bit of fun, adding a few fields and making some reports and dashboards, and kind of slowly got more involved and realized what it does. And here I am today. So I'm self-employed, run a little company in Cheltenham, and I have a couple of big customers. And I'm here today to talk to you about this use case. So this is our customer support executive called Colin Commission. And he says, from my homepage, I need a way to search for not one account, but many of my key accounts cases with as few clicks as possible. Once the list comes up, I want to have a button per case to view full case details. And while you're at it, make it look nice. If no cases are found, give me an amber warning. So he's obviously a very demanding fellow, and we want to use some quickly built solution to fulfill this. And today we're going to use a screen flow, but with a bit of a twist. So we're going to use a screen flow, but we're going to sneak in some more components, which you'll see in today's build. So what is a screen flow? It's a kind of a user input wizard. So you press a button or it loads on a lightning page or something like that, and it takes a user from A to Z. They can put information in, they can answer questions, they can be given results, they can click on things. It's a kind of a screen wizard. And you can use them for various things. You can have data tables, you can have lookups and various things like this. So here's one I built earlier. A simple screen from a screen flow. You can add sections now from a couple of years back, so you're up to 4 sections per screen component. So we've got 4 here to make this grid look all aligned. Section headers as well to make things look a bit more organized and so you can see what's going on. You can have things like checkboxes and or group checkboxes or radio buttons at the bottom. So there's quite a few things you can do with screen flows, but they are a bit limited. They're not perfect. You can't have all the rich LWC components that you might be used to in Salesforce yet. I'm sure there's stuff coming, but today we're going to try and make them a bit more familiar with Lightning experience. So SLDS is Salesforce Lightning Design System. It's a component library which you can use within Lightning Web Components, which I touched on over with the previous presentation. There's not enough time to go through in detail today, but it's all the stuff that you're familiar with, like the accordions, icons, buttons, toast messages, all the kind of stuff that you see in Lightning day to day, like this sort of stuff. And it's kind of very natural in Salesforce. It's made by Salesforce for Salesforce, and you can, with a couple of lines of code, often add something quite familiar to a coded screen. However, you kind of go into development technology, development territory now. So you can't just do this stuff without having developers around, really. So how can we use SLDS within screen flows? The classic answer is you build an LWC and you make it screen flow enabled. Then you can call upon that and it pops out. That takes time, that takes deployment, that takes more effort. And another option, which we'll do today quickly, is we're gonna use a fairly new trick that's been around for about a month or so on LinkedIn, where you can sneak code from SLDS into your screen flows and surface components within ScreenFlow without having to do the kind of traditional coded routes, which is quite fun. So we're going to have a quick go at building a few little bits and bobs. And for anyone, it will go wrong, I can guarantee it. For anyone who wants to look at my hyperlinks and look at the kind of code I'm using, this QR code takes you to a little Google document that'll be there at the end as well. So take a quick picture if you want to. Okay. So first things first, let's just do a quick run through of a solution I've pre-built, but we're going to build it again. So from anywhere in the system, you go to your home page. Here's a screen flow for Colin, and he can multi-select accounts from this lookup here. So let's go and look for Awesome Airlines, along with, I think it was Kebabs R Us. We've now got 2 accounts selected. We can then search for our cases. Where's my cursor gone? It's found all the cases, so Kebabs R Us and Awesome Airlines. And with one click, you can open case. And let's go back and find an account without a case, without cases. So homepage. And we've got no cases were found. So I think hopefully we've fulfilled Colin's lovely requirements, but how do we do this? So let's go to setup. Then close. Then new flow. Screen flow. And our first component for the screen flow will be a screen itself to say, go and find the accounts or give us the accounts. So it's a new screen here. We'll call it hide the header, and we'll configure the footer to say, let's do a custom label for the next button, search cases, hide previous, and hide pause. So we've got a nice blank canvas here, and we'll drag onto the screen a lookup. We'll call this count lookup. And then you have to give this particular feature an object and a field name to kind of use as your lookup. So classic place for an account lookup opportunity, as the account ID is the lookup. So we can say object API name for opportunity and field API name is account ID. What should we call this? These accounts. And you can have this, there's a fairly new feature, but you can have maximum selections. So typically lookup's a single select, but here you can have multiple selects. You've mentioned I pick 2 at once. So you can type in 100 or something arbitrary here to allow you to multi-select. And then, what have I spelled wrong? Lowercase d, there we are. I think it's taken enough. Thank you. Okay. Right, that's the first part done. Second part is get records. So once we've got these accounts to look through, we want to find all the cases underneath these accounts. So the next block is get cases. Object was case. How do we know which cases are defined? Well, the account ID be in our account lookup record IDs, and which will get all cases, not just one. So it's trying to get all the cases that match this criteria. Once we've got these cases, we're going to do a quick count just for later on in the flow, count them and see how many cases we have. So assignment. Cases, and we'll make a quick variable for a number. Number 0 decimal places. Equals count of get cases. So if there's 10 cases retrieved, it's now just 10 on this variable here. And just a quick sort. So if you sort the collection of cases, We'll sort by subject name in ascending order. And lastly, we're going to add a screen today. These are the cases to display. I'm going to pop out of the flow and come back to the flow, but here's one I prepared earlier. So on the case object, there's a formula field which we're going to call upon for our data table. So case fields and relationships. I think I call it link as button. Now this text here is boilerplate. Most of it's boilerplate straight from Salesforce line design system, but it's put in the formula field on the case object. So I've got some hyperlinks in this document here, which I'll share later on, but we can see. Let's open this in a new window. Here's where you can get all the kind of example code for how to build buttons and stuff. So show code, and you can copy and paste these little snippets and reuse them. So this formula here, we're going to put in our data table right now. So what do we put here? Let's put this case results screen. And off the header. And on the footer, we're going to say next or finish we'll call close. Previous button we'll call backdated search, and we'll hide the pause button. And we're going to clean canvas. So let's put our data table on the screen. With cases found. And what collection do we use? Well, we could get cases collection, which has been now sorted by subject in ascending order. Configure rows, we're going to say we don't want any selection going, just view only, so they can see the results, but they can't do anything with them apart from click on the button, which we'll see in a second. And for the columns, we're going to put case number, subject, account name, and lastly, the link as button formula field, which we saw just now. And for this one, we're going to say use a custom column label of nothing. So it just appears to be there. There's no kind of click on this. It's just there. Okay. So this is a quick debug and see how this looks. Let's do a quick save. Hopefully this is, yeah, this is fine. So the moment of truth for the first part.
Fingers crossed.
Run, come on, please. Oh. So search accounts. Let's try kebab to us. I know it has lots of cases. Okay, so it's found all these cases, subjects. Of course, it's the same account name because we're single select just now. But if you click on open case, there's the case. So that's the first part with the little buttons. And now for the banners in the demo we did earlier. Now I'm going to dip back out of the flow to our custom labels. And here are three I prepared earlier. Which let me just use my document here. So I've created three custom labels in Salesforce. One's called notification underscore success, notification warning, and notification error. And they just contain this text here. That's all they contain, which comes from the scoped notifications Salesforce Lightning Design System components. So the code's a snippet from this. So let's go and quickly look at those. Just a single line, just put there. And the developers amongst us will say, well, that's not enough. That alone doesn't give us enough. If you look at the Salesforce documentation here, there's more code involved, and there is, but Salesforce has been good enough, or it's forgiving enough so you can put one line of code, and then underneath that just put hello world, and it will display hello world as if it's been formatted properly in the text in the code block. So it's been quite forgiving, and we'll exploit that for our next part. So I'll make use of that. So back to our flow, on our results screen. If I go to display text, I put one up here. I call this success. Insert a resource. So if I type in label, get to my custom labels, then type in notification success. That's now brought that line of code, or we'll bring that line of code into my block here. Then underneath, I put success cases found. It'll be green because the success message is green in SLDS. It's best with a white font. So for this message here, I'll put in, I'll centralize it first, align center, and then put this in white. Close. And we're going to say, right, when do we show this message? When there's more than 0 cases found. And we've counted our cases in a previous component, so we can say set component visibility when this is true. So when counter greater than 0, show the green message, which is this message. And similarly, if we add a similar display text just underneath this, and we call this warning, we insert a label. Notification warning. Underneath, say, no cases found, please search again. It'll be a kind of yellowy amber, so black's fine, but again, we'll put this as alignment center. And the rule, when do we show this message? When there's 0 in our counter. So counter equals 0. So we'll quickly save and try again. So we've got a green kind of scoped notification at the top, which hopefully is the same color we're familiar with from Lightning Experience. Let's go back to search. I think this one has no cases. So I might put that in bold, but it's coming through as an orange message saying, go back to your search and search again. So that's how you can, it's a massive topic, and there's hundreds of things you can do with this. I have tried a few components in the component library. They don't all work, so kind of disclaimer, not everything works, but the stuff I have tried on the whole seems to work quite nicely in flows. So if you build a custom label or put it in display text, you can get your SLDS components to sometimes render in a stream flow and give your users a better experience. So I encourage you to have a go and see how you get on.
That's wonderful. Thanks very much, James, for showing us how to turbocharge our flow experience. I think that's fair enough.
Hopefully so.
Yeah, turbocharge your flows.
One thing I skipped, you can also run custom labels, put your boilerplate code in text templates in your flow, but then it becomes flow specific and you can't reuse them across flows. So I recommend labels so you can use them again and again. And display text and data tables do show the actual code as how it renders in SLDS. So yeah, have a go and good luck.
That sounds good. Does anybody have any questions for James, for those in the room or those that are remote? Gary?
With the button, great. Can you put that directly on the page as well? So if you show that field that's a button essentially on a page, will it render the button?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I think it has to be within the screen flow. I think data tables, which was in, and display text are the ones where you can kind of make use of this, I'm afraid, sadly.
And then second question, because flows seem to progress pretty quickly, stuff seems to appear all the time. Any good resources for people to kind of keep up to date with new things, new tricks, new tips people are coming up with?
And the release notes, if you can sift through online, you can filter them a little bit. I don't know really. There's a great website which I kind of got this idea from LinkedIn called unofficialsf.com, and that's got loads of flow resources, loads of kind of add-ons and things. Good stuff there. It's good community. Use the stuff from there at your own caution. It's not supported by Salesforce, so don't put in the enterprise org and expect it to last forever. But there's lots of good discussion there, and yeah, things there to have a look at maybe. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any questions from the folks at the remote? Okay, no, thanks very much, James. I appreciate that. That's a really good insight there into flow. Thank you very much.